This bud's for you. And Dempy, what do you got?
Yeah, there he is, starting pitcher for the Cubs. Brought to you by Budweiser. Look at Justin Steele. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, or sprinkler. Listen, Justin Steele is a two-pitch pitcher, but he has a lot of faith in both pitches, and understandably so, because you look at that, a 4-0 record with a 1.49 ERA, looking to continue what he's been doing through the first month of the season.
All right, so the lefty on the mound as he makes start number 7, and let's take a check of the Marlins lineup. And that lineup is brought to you by UI Health. Birdie, Soler, and Arise, Gurriel, Segura, Chisholm, De La Cruz, Stallings, and Hampson. And you're talking about a Marlins team that is last in the majors in runs per game, and yet here they are at an even 500. They're 16-16. Don't have a lot of power. They're last in the National League in on-base percentage. But the guy up top, John Birdie, when he gets on, he's a threat to run. He led the majors in stolen bases a season ago, but they'll have their work cut out for him against Justin Steele. What about defense, Dem?
Yeah, Justin Steele's going to rely on these guys behind him. The defensive setup for the Cubs brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield. Ian Happ in left, Cody Bellinger in center, and Seiya Suzuki in right. Around the infield, Wisdom at third, Swanson, Horner up the middle. Making his debut at first base, Matt Mervis, and behind the dish, the youngster himself, Miguel Amaya.
All right, time down for our keys to the game. They're brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Well, first one, stay even, Steele. The things you've been doing have been working. Don't change anything. Continue to pound the strike zone. Back to the friendly confines after a rough road trip. Your home ballpark. And Boog, let's make it a marvelous day.
Yeah, let's. Steele ready to work. First pitch of the game. And that is in there. We are underway. So strike one, and John Birdie, the shortstop, leading things off. You mentioned for Justin Steele, it's basically two pitches. It's ironic to see a pitcher go effectively from the pen, or at least pen and starting, to just starting, and pare his repertoire down. But that's what he did. Popped up, Horner onto the grass, and he makes the catch.
Yeah, and I think the thing that really makes Justin effective is the fact that he uses his fastball so much and he has trust in it that a lot of times that first time through the lineup, he'll pitch with one pitch. He'll just attack with that. So now you set up the ability to save your secondary pitch for another time through the lineup. Maybe guys don't see it very much. So he's just done a tremendous job of filling up the strike zone.
Justin Steele, Drew Smiley, two guys that really utilize a pair of pitches. As Steele works inside ball one to Soler. The one thing those two guys have in common is they really limit the hard contact. And when they do give up hard contact, you're talking about a guy who ultimately yields it on the ground mainly. So it's been interesting to watch. Yeah, hard hit rate, there you have it. Lowest in the majors, it's this guy.
Well, and I think, too, when you talk about both those guys, they're unique in a way. Drew Smiley's curveball, it's been called the unicorn, right? Like, it has unconventional spin and unconventional movement. Justin Steele, his fastball gets on a hitter quickly. It plays faster than the 92 to 94 he's going to throw it. It really jumps it.
Slider inside, and now it's 3-1. Soler with big power. He's got 6 homers. And beat him in the strike zone.
I mean, case in point, 3-1 count to a premier power hitter in the league, and you throw a 92-mile-an-hour fastball middle in, and it's by him.
Soler, a guy that hit 48 homers in a big league season. Ring him up. Sean Barber calls out Soler, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, I mean, this is nothing more than just a fastball. It's got a little bit of cut action, maybe ends up below the zone, but you know, a 3-2 pitch you're not going to want to let go by you. And for Justin Steele, he did, and it's a ring him up, strike him out.
And now it's Luis Ariz. He reaches and pokes one foul back to the screen. Justin Steele, a 1.49 ERA, and he faces the top hitter in the majors. Not by a little, by the way, Deb. This guy is leading the majors in hitting. The next closest hitter is about 70 points away, which is kind of wild when you're talking 5 weeks into the season. Next closest guy is Ronald Acuna Jr. at 355.
Yeah, I'm curious as to how long he can take the 400 average and keep it going, because this is a guy that doesn't strike out. He doesn't swing and miss, so he puts the ball in play. He gets the little hits because he does that. But he also has the ability to have some pop and some OPS. He can drive the ball in the gap when he's ahead in count.
1-2. And a foul tip. Nope. It's a strikeout. So he punches out a guy that is so difficult to strike out. Good start for Justin Steele. Wrigley, the Marlins and the Cubs. There's no score. And let's take a look at the Cubs lineup. It's brought to you by Benny's Beverage Depot. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. Cubs fourth in the league in runs per game. Second in on base. Horner top the order. Swanson at hat. Then Suzuki, Bellinger, Mancini. Matt Mervis his debut. Then Wisdom and Miguel Amaya looking for his first major league hit.
And the starting pitcher for the Marlins, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you, Edward Cabrera. Fastball, changeup, curveball. We've been using the curveball more this year. Higher percentage points than in the past, but a guy with strikeout stuff, but a lot of walks, 25 walks in 27 innings this year.
Inside. Yeah, he's got big time stuff. Last year, he was 6-4 in 14 starts with a 3.01 ERA. It's off his foot. So far this year, he is punching people out, but he is walking them. I mean, you love the strikeout and ground ball combo, but the walk's just too high. And then time called here by Nico Horner. And that's a base hit through the left side.
Nico getting a changeup that's up in the zone. He's trying to go down and in with that. When you leave a changeup up in the middle of the plate to Nico Horner, it's probably going to get hit hard somewhere.
So Dansby Swanson now. Dansby's average at 284, the on base outstanding at 394. In the air to center, and right there to make the catch is Jazz Chisholm.
And the rest of the defensive setup for the Marlins brought to you by Ford. In left, Dela Cruz, you mentioned Chisholm Jr. in center, and Garrett Hampson getting the start in right field. Gene Segura, the veteran, at third. John Birdie at short. Luis Ariz at second. Yuli Gurriel, the former Houston Astro, Gold Glover, at first. And behind the dish, Jacob Stallings.
Yeah, former Gold Glover. Horner at first, and a throw over there. I feel like we haven't seen the 3 disengagement balk thing very frequently. And now Horner, he got a big jump and then got into no man's land, and Cabrera stepped off.
Almost right on cue. He's trying to time it here. He's using kind of, you've thrown over, now I'm going to go. And luckily for him, Cabrera never stepped off in time, and he was able to scurry back, make a nice little slide into first.
What a gorgeous day here. Absolutely perfect. I'm with you, Davey Baseball. You get a good seat.
before the game, before batting practice actually started, and they were taking ground balls. I had a chance to talk to Nick Madrigal, and he said, "How awesome is this?" He goes, "This makes every cold day in April worth it." Because today is just absolutely spectacular.
It's a great perspective. Corner again, scrambling away, and safe at first is Jim Wolf. And let's see, did Alan Porter get a balk? What do we got here? Alan Porter, the crew chief, coming in. Okay, so that was the third. So there you go. I asked and I received. That hits a slicing fly ball out to left center. And Chisholm able to haul it in. Jazz Chisholm making the conversion from second base to center field. Folks, this Cup game is available in Spanish. It's brought to you by Toyota on your SAP audio setting. Provided by Tudi and Univision Sports Chicago, 1200 AM. Miguel Esparza, Omar Ramos on the call. So Happ retired. Here's Seiya Suzuki. For Seiya, the start to the season, remember, it was injury plagued as he began the year. That one in the dirt, and Horner will move up on a wild pitch. Seiya missed the first 11 games. That oblique injury. Stallings not able to keep it in front. One of the things, though, now that he's come back, that's gone up, the exit velo and the hard hit rate. So that's good. It just hasn't led to slug because he's hitting it on the ground a little more than normal. Step there. By the way, they scored that pass ball.
And I remember at the beginning of spring training seeing Jed Hoyer and talking to him about how impressed he was with Seiya and how he came into camp a little bit stronger. The ball was really jumping off of his bat, so to go down with injury, to see him come back, it's just kind of continued now that he's healthy again.
Breaking ball in for a strike. Line drive, base hit left field. Cubs are on the board. Seiya delivers into first with a laser to left.
We talked about the exit velo. This is a two-strike approach, and he's just getting the barrel of the bat to the ball, gets a breaking ball, and you see that ball just take off of his bat over the third baseman's head. Great job of staying back on that breaking ball. 1-0.
One to belly, and that is in for a strike. It's been fun watching Cody Bellinger patrol center field, and he's been swinging a really good bat. On the ground, right side, diving to his right, it's Gurriel makes the play. Bellinger is out, inning over. Seiya Suzuki, an RBI single, and the Cubs take the lead. Pitches, one of three guys starting in the majors throws two pitches 95% of the time. So one of three guys, Hunter Green, Spencer Strider, two guys with really good stuff, but minimum 300 pitches. There's only three of them, and Strider's one of the best in baseball. So he's a bit of a unicorn as it relates to leaning on two pitches. The other part that I think is so interesting is one of the two pitches, the slider, he didn't learn until 2020 and in non-competition in the COVID year. So he's been throwing one of the two pitches that he throws in games for basically 2 years plus now 7 starts.
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty amazing, the ascension of that pitch. Sometimes it takes you years to figure out a pitch or multiple different grips, and he found something that fit very well for him, as you can see. And it's just, it's fun to watch because we get so caught up and you need that third pitch. You need to be able to do this more. You need to have more velocity. He's like, nope. I'm evaluating the fact that I can see the pitch.
All right, what's happening here? Skip Schumacher going out there talking with Sean Barber. And
I don't know if it had something to do with the pitch clock or the timer. Now he's saying it's a foul ball. David Ross is saying, I don't think it was a foul ball.
It looked like he delivered late, so they're lucky that it wasn't a violation. Or it looked like it was a violation on the pitcher. Right? He hasn't started.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Popped up. Fouling back to the plate. Amaya tosses the mask. He's got it. And so ultimately, Gurriel Dad Max on the left, Mom Annie on the right. Dad, of course, the mayor of La Villa de los Santos in Panama. And hoping they'll get a chance to watch their son pick up his first big league hit. Gene Segura bounces one foul. Nothing in one. Tapped on the ground. Horner charges and throws out Segura.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's recharge and play. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well.
Here's Jazz Chisholm now. By the way, on that Gurriel foul ball, not foul ball, that's not reviewable. So that's one, a foul on the infield is not a reviewable play. Fair foul in the outfield is reviewable. Just.
Which is interesting because, I mean, when we're into reviewing so many different things and aspects, why not that one as well? I mean, can really change the outcome of a game.
1-2 here. And a swing and a miss, and Justin Steele off to a fast start. 6 up, 6 down, including. You nailed it, Deb.
Thanks. Honestly, of everything happening today, that was what I was most nervous about.
Here's Jay Mancini. It'll be Mancini and then Mervis and then Wisdom against Edward Cabrera. Cubs lead it 1-0 on a Seiya Suzuki RBI single. Cabrera back to work. One darting in off the edge of the plate. Edward Cabrera, big guy, goes 6'5", 217, 25 years old. Marlins signed him out of the Dominican Republic in 2015 for $100,000. And the stuff has really come along. Line drive, base hit, right field. Mancini aboard, and here comes the first big league at bat for Matt Mervis.
Number 22, Matt Mervis.
Big lefty at the plate. Yeah, the first offering in there for a strike. I asked him, what do you do for prep? And he said, I'm going to look at a little bit of video, his charts, just get an idea of what his pitches do. And now it's 0-2.
It's always the case too when you're the young guy. You get it at bat, you see a 92-mile-an-hour changeup with movement on the knees, and then 97 black painted inside.
Outside, as that curveball missed. Mervis at AAA Iowa, 6 homers, 7 doubles, and the on base over 400. Gets a piece there. He's an impressive guy. He was a two-way player at Duke. I thought it was interesting him alluding to in a news conference just the idea that there have been ups and downs. He struggled in college. He struggled his first year. A swing and a miss, and Mervis down on strikes. His first major league at bat. But the point being, it's not like it's been all roses. He's had to overcome adversity. He was a two-way guy at Duke that didn't get a ton of at-bats and playing time. And again, that first year in 2021, it wasn't great for him.
Even he gets to Iowa last year, and Ron Vallone had talked about this, Iowa pitching coach, how just early on the first few games just struggling. Pitching gets a little bit better, the breaking balls get a little bit sharper, and having this kind of pressure he put on himself because of the success he was having at the other levels. And Ron said to him, hey man, like, it's going to keep getting better the further up the ladder you go. Just stay in your zone, stay with your approach that you're doing. Don't come out of that because you're trying to do too much. So you're right. The struggles are real. They're at every level, and you just continue to try and make adjustments, get better, learn from your last at bat, whatever it is.
0-2, and Wisdom down on strikes with 2 away. We go downstairs and Taylor McGregor.
Well, speaking of Matt Mervis and the struggles in his career, he said dating back to high school and college, there were a lot of people who told him, look, your future is in pitching. You might as well start focusing on that right now. But he said there was always a belief down inside of him that he could be a really good hitter. And he said it was in 2019, he was in the Cape Cod League with a coach, Mike Roberts, who instilled confidence in him. And he said that was when it really clicked for me, like, okay, I'm good at this. I can do this. And he said even after that there were struggles, but there was always that thing to go back to of, oh no, I remember that feeling. I remember how good that felt, and I know I can get back there, and I know I can do it at a high level.
Well, last year he spent the entire year doing it at a high level, no matter what the level. Just kept climbing and climbing and climbing, and now here he is, Miguel Amaya, looking for his first major league hit. Taps that one foul.
That's the other thing. When you think about 36 home runs in the minor leagues, they play a month less than everybody else. There's not as many games, so that's, you don't want to say equivalent, but that's 45 home runs at the big league level, having that extra time. So just a tremendous season he put together last year. He's continued it this year, earned himself a promotion to the big leagues.
1-2 to Amaya, and he gets a piece. Facing the hard-throwing right-hander, Edward Cabrera. Amaya went 0 for 2 yesterday. Did have a sac fly. He also lined out to center. Hit a ball 104 miles an hour. It was caught. That one hit him. Ouch. Got him on the inside of that right arm.
This is a scary thing because this young man's already been through Tommy John surgery, and now all of a sudden you take a fastball in the mid-90s and you hits you right on that elbow. Bad things go into your head, sure. Bad thoughts. So just got to sit here and realize, rub a little ice on it, I guess you rub some dirt on it and put ice on it.
Yeah, that one at 94, getting him right around that elbow. Amaya will take his base. And with 2 on and 2 out, it'll bring up Nico Hoerner. Cubs lead at 1-0. Boog Sciambi, Ryan Dempster, Taylor McGregor on a gorgeous afternoon. Bleachers are full and the rest of the stands filling up. If you're close by, come on by. Nico a single his first time up. Mancini at second, Amaya the runner at first. And the Cubs with an early lead. Inside. Well, Ryan Dempster documented early how Cabrera is a guy that can spray it around. He'll walk some people, and at times he'll hit people too.
Yeah, and this has been a struggle for him. It seems like a lot of his off-speed pitches, spinning the breaking ball out of his hand, change-ups running away from him. He tells me that front side's flying open a little.
Nico getting a piece of that, and Nico Hoerner's a guy that can hit all pitches inside and outside of the strike zone. Done such a good job making contact. I mean, the bat-to-ball skills. Up foul. Time now for the Bounty quick stats. 2 of the best contact men in the game playing here today. Luis Arraez on the Marlins side, Nico Hoerner on the Cubs side. Arraez second most hits in the bigs. Nico, or in the National League, Nico's tied for third. And then in terms of strikeout rate, Arraez the lowest, Nico the 5th lowest. Whiff rate is swing and miss rate, and they're 1-2. Nick Helling telling me yesterday Nico Hoerner has 4 swings and misses this year at fastballs in the strike zone.
Yeah, just incredible hand-eye. And those are the kind of guys as pitchers I hated facing, because you can make a great pitch and they foul it off, and they make another really good pitch and they just grind you into making one mistake that ends up going for a base hit somewhere.
Swing and a miss, and Cabrera gets the strikeout. A rare punch out for Nico Hoerner. Cubs leave a couple, but they still. Love the drone. Justin Steele back to work. 6 up, 6 down, 3 strikeouts, and bottom third of the order will come up for the Marlins. Marlins last in the majors in runs per game. On the ground, Swanson sliding on the backhand, long throw, 1 away. Man, just makes it look so easy.
As I watched that, that's exactly what was going through my head. People don't realize how hard this play is, because A, you got to catch it on your backhand, so your feet got to be in the right position. And just how he makes that little slide stop to be able to get enough behind the throw and then a strong, accurate throw across the diamond. I would say he's as good as anybody in baseball at the shortstop position in making that play.
Yep. One to Stallings. And now it's 0-2. Let's send it down to T-Mac.
Well, to your point, Demp, when I've been talking to some players about the defense we've seen all across the diamond in the outfield this summer, they've said it almost makes you take it for granted because they make things look so easy. Specifically, Bellinger out in center field, the way that he can cover grass, and it doesn't look like it's that challenging. But those are plays that a year ago the Cubs outfielders weren't making. And so between Bellinger, Swanson, Hoerner, the defense has seen a big improvement.
Yeah, there's no question. And Bellinger has certainly helped things. You take a Gold Glove caliber shortstop. I mean, really, metrically, two of the top defensive shortstops in the National League last year were Dansby Swanson and Nico Horner, and now they're playing together up the middle. When I've asked Andy Green what makes Dansby so good, the thing that he points to, and this is a real big tenet of Ron Washington as infield coach in Atlanta, Andy Green says he secures the baseball as well as anyone I've ever seen. You can measure everything that you want to measure, right? But until you catch it, the rest of that stuff kind of doesn't really matter. So that one laced down into left field and a base hit. So one of the things that he just does so well is he secures it, he catches it. So
yeah, it's, you know, the ability to get to the ball is one thing.
yeah,
A lot of guys get there and then they get in a hurry and then they drop the ball, and he just does that. It seems like the ball's always in his glove, and then whatever happens, happens. So,
yes.
And that comes from another Ron Washington thing that he does. Foot position. Where are my feet in relation to that backhand play? You see him take that drop step to his knee to be able to get there. Where are my hand positions? Am I too far out in front? Am I back? And the little drills he does pregame, like he's always just in the right position, and therefore he's always seems like he's catching the baseball.
By the way, in case you all at home were wondering, that was the Budweiser broadcast booth. This Bud's for you. And I'm pointing at it. Timeout. John Birdie here as Garrett Hampson delivers a 2-out single. First base runner, and a balk has been called. Yeah.
It's like one of those ones where you're not paying attention to the runner at first, and then as soon as you go to pick up, you see him moving, you're like, oh, hey, there you are. Oops.
Yeah.
I'll just strike the next guy out instead.
Birdie picks it up or strikes out. Amaya picks it up, throws him out, and that's the inning. Cubs lead 1-0, middle of the third. And here's David Ross.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Everything's good here with Ryan Dempster, Taylor McGregor, Dansby Swanson stands in. Have you gotten used to watching just sort of the gracefulness, the calmness at shortstop, and then the execution of the plays from this guy at short?
I don't know. I have such appreciation for watching guys that just go about their craft so easily every single day, and I've marveled at what he's been able to do so early on in this season. It's just, there's no panic. Anytime he's in between, the ball just seems to go in his glove. Got a really nice way about pressing the ball when his body's not in the right position. He is a true pro, and I'm so happy we have him.
Tell me if you said anything to Matt Mervis or there was a message to him. There's obviously some pressure on him. There's certainly a lot of focus on him.
Sure, a lot of focus. I don't think he carries the I'm going to be the savior. Like, we've got so many great players up here, and batting him a little bit further down the lineup just makes a lot of sense behind a lot of professionals. Got some protection behind him with Wiz and the damage he can do. So, no, I think the message is, man, hey, congratulations. I think we've all been looking forward to this day for a long time. He earned that. He deserves it. And we're so happy he's here to help us out for a long, long time, hopefully. So just happy for him. Asked him about how many people he had in the stands, stuff like that. And he seems to be in a good place.
Do you remember yours?
Yeah, I think I got called up, and we were in Anaheim. My first pinch hit, I got to pinch hit in Anaheim. I came from the bullpen, just super nervous. My first start was Hideo Nomo in St. Louis. So just to, you go back to those emotions and those moments, and then try to relate to, what you thought about, what you did, and how the game just gets back to being the game as soon as the first pitch is thrown or you get that first at bat out of the way.
Rossi, one other thing with Seiya making his way to the plate. What have you seen from him when it's been good? Because he's hitting the ball harder. Yeah,
he's in a good place. I mean, the times he's getting into trouble, I feel like he's just trying to touch the baseball and put it in play a little bit more with 2 strikes, and it goes on the ground. we talked to him after that Marlins series just about, you're a 4-hole hitter. We need you to be swinging for the fences, putting the ball in the seats a little bit, that alpha male mentality when you're in the box. And he's done a nice job of that since there. I think all of that is kind of work in progress, but he's also finding his timing. We expect him to be so locked in, and he's done a nice job for not having a spring training.
Locked in the air and caught out of the air at first by Gurriel. Rossi, we appreciate you checking in, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Hey, all got it. Great questions, Deb. Way to go.
Rossi, good talking with you, man. You're doing great.
I'll let you handle that really nicely.
Thanks.
Here's Bellinger now with 2 away. I know you get shy sometimes.
Well, I've been just doing a lot of soul searching. They say sometimes it's just as important to listen as it is to talk. So, yeah. You guys were in a great flow. I didn't want to interrupt that.
It's like, you ever seen Mr. Mom?
Oh, yeah.
When they finally get the little kid to give up his whoopee, and he looks up at the dad and says, "Can I have a moment to myself, please?" Yeah, you get it. Throwing it first, and back in is Ian Happ. Through a 1-out walk. Walks have been an issue for Cabrera. He's hit a guy and walked a guy today. He's walked 25 in 27 innings coming in.
Yeah, very erratic too. Like you look at him and his high walk rate. You're leading the league at almost, a 20% there. It's just a lot of. He'll throw one pitch right on the corner at 97, and then a pitch that's completely non-competitive. And it just seems like he's trying to find his delivery. I don't know if that's just struggles early on in the season. You see that 96 with a little bit of movement on the corner, and then this next pitch could be nowhere close. So I know how that goes. You go through those moments, whether they're beginning of the season, middle of the season, end of it. You just got to continue to work through them.
Bellinger back in, Happ at first. 2-2. Belly got off to a little bit of a slow start, but you bump it in a few games since April 4th. He's got the 4th highest OPS in the National League. Chasing that time, and Cabrera able to get him. No runs, no hits, a walk. 1 man left, end of 3. 1-0 Cubs.
Summer is here, and with a new Toyota, you can do all your favorite beach activities, like spikeball, whitewater rafting, shrimp boils, wade fishing, or hanging with the locals. You can say that again.
Get 3.99% APR for 48 months on a new Toyota Corolla, Camry, RAV4, Highlander, or Tacoma. See your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com to learn more.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
Flynn McGuire, who's the Cubs honorary bat kid for the day. Flynn, good to have you. Keeping score. Is that down to T-Mac land?
I have 2. I have 2 down here already.
Already?
Yes.
Holy cow. See if we can get one of them to Flynn. Have you given any of them away, T-Mac?
I haven't. I always wait for kids to come down around the area and get them.
Okay. To the youngsters.
It's great to see Flynn down on the field before the game. All the guys stopping by, taking pictures, signing autographs. His dad, Dan, sitting next to him.
Jorge Soler, kind of the way he's wearing his pants right now, Dem. I mean, I would almost go as those are technically shorts.
He's got them above the knees. Although in today's, world of fashion, Boog, the long shorts aren't in. The shorter, the better.
Is that right?
It's mid-thigh and up. It's what the kids are wearing right now.
Is that men's and women's? Or?
I try to wear them like that, and my kids tell me not to wear my shorts like that.
All right, let's send it downstairs and Taylor.
Well, I would argue that for women, the longer Bermuda shorts are actually back in.
Factual. This is true. I should have prefaced it that.
I understand mustard-colored sweaters are in too, T-Mac.
That was a blazer.
Oh, my fault. Blazer.
I think the biggest fashion trend really is that you can wear whatever fashion you want.
T-Mac will tell you you're wrong if she doesn't like it. Popped up right side. And Nico Horner pulls it down.
That is not true. Marcus Stroman, I wouldn't wear the clothes that he wears, but I think he has great style. It's something he pulls off. I'm all about expression through fashion. Everybody's fashion is different.
I agree with that because I see Stro rocking some stuff like he just went like to a thrift store and got some, but and then he rocks it. I'm like, this dude looks good, man. So Stro, if you're listening right now,
I like his style.
You got some style, bro.
Fashion police on hand here at Wrigley as we watch Luis Arraez hit in the fourth. A rare strikeout for him the first time. He's at 420. His lifetime average is 321. You go back since the start of divisional play, minimum 1,500 at bats. So that's 1969. It goes Clemente, Gwynn, Carew, Boggs, Arraez. Base hit up the middle. Did I just reverse jinx?
No, I think you just stated the obvious. Okay. If you're going to statistically throw out there what he was going to do, a hit probably was in the cards. And this is just the ability, some guys have it. They have better hand-eye coordination, whatever. They have better control of their swing, whatever it is. He's one of the elite, if not the elite, in all of baseball for bat-to-ball skills.
And what's sliced into right field, Gurriel comes up with a hit, although close play. Isaiah Suzuki was able to field it and fire a strike to second, but it was a little too late. So those two guys hitting back-to-back. They're the last two American League batting champs. Arraez last year, Gurriel the year before.
Yeah, and you see right here, Arraez kind of freezes on this ball, and Seiya takes a little bit of a step backwards. Until this moment, you see him, he's going to start going back, and then he takes that step backwards, and that allows him to realize the ball's going to fall in. But still a close play at second base. Segura is a good double play candidate.
It's a ball to ground a ton. Gene Segura spent the last 4 years with the Phillies. Last year, he ended the drought of not having played in the postseason. Gene Segura going in to last year and through last year until the Phillies clinched had played more games than any active player without having been in the postseason. He was number one. JT Real Muto was number two. The active leader in games played right now without ever being in the playoffs is Nick Ahmed. Steps out third, safe at first. Showed off that good, strong throwing arm. Close play, but Segura safe.
And Segura, even as he's got up there in age, he still gets down the line relatively quick and able to beat that out. A good play by Wisdom. Make sure you get that lead guy at third base. Even the strong arm across the diamond can't double him up.
So 2 outs and 2 aboard. Justin Steele trying to keep it a 1-0 game. In the air left field, Happ tracking back, and he makes the grab. Nice play. The Gold Glover got a great jump and was able to haul it in on the warning track. Heck of a play, Ian Happ, and keeps it a 1-0 Cubs. Welcome back, Wrigley Field on a gorgeous afternoon here on a Friday. Cubs lead 1-0. John Sciambi and Ryan Dempster, and joined here in the booth by President of Baseball Operations for the Cubs, Jed Hoyer. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Real good. It's nice to be home. Nice to have some warm weather. And there's a little bit of a buzz today with Matt Mervis being selected and making his big league debut. What's it like for you?
These are always the most fun days for us. I mean, it's so gratifying for scouting department, player development. Not only Matt, but with Amaya making his home debut as well. Good day for the organization, and it's perfect outside. So take both of those things.
Indeed. Mancini here. Give me an idea of just a little peek behind the curtain. How do you decide when on a Matt Mervis? You were looking for what, and roughly how's the decision made?
That's a good question. I mean, it's never perfect. We had sort of talked early on, try to get 45, 60 days in AAA, get his feet underneath him. One thing about AAA, it's really hard at the end of the year to evaluate. He was there last year in September, and AAA, gets pretty watered down by the end of the year, and so we kind of wanted to have him go there, prove it, get some at bats under his belt, and frankly, probably a little bit quicker than we thought, but we've been struggling on that road trip. We felt like we needed a jolt, and his at bats have been so good down there. He's controlling the zone, and felt like the right time. Tough draw for him today too. He's got a guy, he dominates left-handed hitter, so we knew this was a tough draw, but it was the right time to pull the trigger.
No, one down. Yeah, Edward Cabrera. That's one of the things. When you look at his splits, his Mervis awaits a 1-1. On the ground, softly hit, charging his plays, and throws out Matt Mervis, 2 away. Ben Brown was a guy I wanted to ask you about. Made the jump from AA to AAA. AA, though, they're using a different ball, correct? It's pre-tackified, I guess.
Yeah, it's a stickier ball. Spin rates are up a little bit, and it's one of the things we've been talking about a lot as we think about guys who are on the roster in AA. It's a hard jump thinking about AA to the big leagues, given the ball is different. You want guys to feel comfortable, and all of a sudden you're using a different ball. So I just think it's a variable that we know we're going to have to deal with all year. The AA ball and the AA stats, and those things you probably have to get guys to AAA and see what they do with the normal ball. So it's just another variable we have to deal with this year, and one we're not really used to dealing with.
Patrick Wisdom 0 for 1.
Today's starting pitcher, Justin Steele, just the work that he's done, the progress that he's made. How exciting is that when you see a guy that going into that next year after kind of a breakout season, just continuing that through the first month of the season?
Yeah, he looks really comfortable, doesn't he? He's pouring strikes in there, and when he's in the zone, he's hard to hit. Guys don't square up his heater, and the only time he gets in trouble a little bit is he puts guys on base, and he looks really comfortable. And he's got some swagger to him right now, which I love. I feel like when you see him walking around now, he's walking around like a 20-game winner, and you got to love seeing that, because I think so much of this game is confidence, and I feel like he really has it right now.
Then you talked about the trust in that fastball. Sometimes we get caught up in numbers, velocity. Just recognizing, even from a scouting side, of like, wow, this guy's ball really has life through the zone.
The hitters tell you, right? I mean, you watch the swings he gets by really good hitters, and they don't see it. It cuts a little different every time. It's not, I think sometimes having that unpredictable movement can be really valuable. And I think he has that. It doesn't move the same way twice in a row, and guys have a hard time lining it up.
That one in there for called strike 3. That was a quick visit from you. You want to stick around, or what do you got for me?
I'll do another half inning.
All right. Yes. On live television. And then his first big league at bat. Getting a great hand from the folks as Ryan De La Cruz Fouls one off. John Shambi, Ryan Dempster, Taylor McGregor, and joined here in the booth by Cubs president of baseball operations, Jed Hoyer. So Matt Mervis making his debut today, and go back to the 2020 COVID draft, because that was weird. It was 5 rounds, and everybody, once the time period set in, you guys made recruiting calls, and you had David Ross calling.
Yeah, so I don't remember the exact timing of it, but I remember it was a couple days after the draft. You couldn't have any contact with those players that were passed over, and then it was like 9 in the morning on a Saturday, and it was just a free-for-all. And we all had our assignment sheets of who we were going to call. And it was one of the most fun days I've had in baseball. I just remember I was at my in-laws' house after the draft. I was in their backyard on the phone for like 8 or 9 consecutive hours, just dialing as fast as I could, being a salesman. And he was the #1 guy on our list for position players. And I called him and had a good conversation. Rossi called him, and it sounds like he really did his research on the organization. But that was a really gratifying one. And I thought as an organization we did a good job of signing a bunch of those guys and being aggressive. And it was 20,000 was the max. So it was really a recruiting contest because everyone could offer the same amount of money. So that was that was a fun day and obviously a great result. And listen, if we had played a full season that year, he probably goes in the 2nd or 3rd round. He probably puts up big numbers, and I think we really benefited from them getting shut down.
Jacob Stallings here. That one bunted out in front of the plate. Amaya takes a peek at second. Now a throw to first. So the sacrifice executed there. Finish up on Mervis. I want to ask you about Amaya in a second, but just quickly on Mervis. Really cerebral guy. Jared Banner was telling me he's somebody that likes to lead the hitters meetings. He's big time into his prep and very articulate about it.
No question. He really bright, really knows what he's doing at the plate. And one of the favorite things for me about him is that I think he looks at that 21 season as the anomaly, which I think it shows a lot of confidence that that's the one that isn't me. Last year and this year is what is, and I think he's got great confidence. And I think he, when you really work hard at your craft and know your craft.
Corner, Swanson, double play.
All right, I'll stay another half inning.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Remember the last time he was here, rallied big. More good luck from Jed Hoyer. 1-0.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Leading off the top of the 3rd. Oh, it's a bloop single to center.
Hey everybody, I'm here with Dave, who just got a nice win on FanDuel, and it's just the 3rd inning. What are you feeling right now?
Lisa, I haven't been this happy since the 2nd inning.
Well, enjoy your win. Well earned.
Whether you want to bet a hit in the 1st or a homer in the 9th, every at-bat is a chance to win big on FanDuel. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed.
Reckless driving. Distracted driving. Avoid phone usage. Hands on the wheel. Put down the phone. Eyes on the road. Crash. Drivers using handheld devices are 4 times more likely to be involved in a crash, injuring themselves or others. It's not a game.
For 46 years straight, more of you have trusted Ford F-Series trucks to help save the day. Stretch the weekend. Haul or tow. Just about anything, anywhere. That's because they're built Ford tough. And it's why Ford F-Series are America's best-selling trucks 46 years straight. And for that, we thank you. Because this isn't just about our capability, it's about yours.
Well, this double play is brought to you by Elgin Hyundai, home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new car. Horner to Swanson. All right, so it leads me to watching those two guys. How much fun has it been to watch them team up and play defense?
really good, and I think it'll only get better as they play together. A lot. I think they'll just they'll know each other. The feeds will be easier. Those turns will be easier, and I think that it's really fun. I mean, we have two shortstops playing the infield. It's a really good feeling.
Miguel Amaya here with a count 0-2, hit by a pitch his first time. Tell me on Miguel Amaya the sort of the potential. Obviously, with Gomes on the concussion IL, he is going to come back, but I mean, this is a guy that's been a top prospect for a while.
He's a really good player. He's just, the injury bug has really got him. He was really good at the outside in 2020, and then he's had Tommy John. He had the Lisfranc injury. He's just been real snake bit, but he's a really good player with a lot of potential, and if he can just stay healthy, the sky's the limit. There's not a lot of catchers out there that can really catch and really hit, and he can do both. He just has to be on the field.
Drilled to center. Chisholm going back, shading his eyes, and he makes the catch.
When you talk about Amaya, the hitting obviously is there, but defensively and setup-wise, the way he catches, he's got this, for a young guy, a very good calmness about him.
That was actually the word I was going to use as well. He's very calm, quiet back there. Even his at bats. I mean, he's hit. He hasn't got that first knock yet, but he's hit some balls hard. Had really good swings, and it's a calm personality, and I think that rubs off on the pitchers as well, right? Like you tell me, like, you want a guy back there that feels calm, that's gives you confidence, and I think he exudes that.
Completely dig that necklace he's rocking. He's working it's sort of a configuration of pearls that was a birthday gift given to him this past year, March 9th, by his godson. And he said, I just like the way it looks. My godson gave it to me. I'm wearing it.
You're going deep right there. I'm impressed.
Just say,
I hadn't noticed. I'll have to check it out now.
Well, you said you like the
inning. That's the third half inning. You start talking about necklaces.
You like the swagger, I know. 1-0 Cubs. A Seiya Suzuki RBI single in the first. It's been the only run. Pitch to Nico. And he's down on strikes. And there's 2 away. And here comes Dansby Swanson. So the last time that you visited us, you told us that you spent a day watching every ground ball that Dansby Swanson fielded in 2022.
I did. He came up and made fun of me. He's like, you watched every ground ball I took? And I was like, I did. I had COVID. I was bored in a hotel room, and you're a big investment. So yeah, but it was funny. He came up and said that to me.
I told him, and I said, did you know this? And he said no. And his next comment was, why would he do that? I've seen he's doing his homework.
I tell you, when you invest a lot of money in a person, you feel like you can never have enough information. You always just want to check one extra box or have one more phone conversation about a guy's makeup, and I can never get away from that. So, boy.
Base hit left field, Dansby Swanson.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I thought that ball my hit was gone. I'm glad I didn't embarrass myself by saying anything, but the angle here is enough different than where I usually sit that I thought that ball was gone.
Yeah, that's just a good job staying on a breaking ball by Dansby Swanson. We were talking about recruiting like that too. The more of those phone calls that you make, as you venture into that free agent territory where it's like we're putting all this money into a player, we don't know who that player is. But those phone calls, how much does that put your mind at ease? We're like, yeah, you're making the right choice, because that really is the consensus, no matter who you talk to about him.
Yeah, I mean, with him, it was you can't find a bad word that anyone says about him. So that in that sense, but I mean, listen, I'll be honest. We've had guys we talked about it. You have a couple bad conversations, and those things do change.
That one hammered and gone. Ian Happ into the bleachers in right center, and the Cubs now lead it 3-0. You are now allowed to make an embarrassing sound.
I misjudged the first one so badly mentally that on that one, until I landed in the bleachers, I wasn't happy.
Yeah, this home run replay brought to you by Toyota, official vehicle of the Chicago Cubs. Ian Happ didn't misread this. He got a pitch he liked out over the plate. Crushes that ball right center field.
I don't know if he was sitting on that pitch or not, but that was one really balanced swing for a curveball right there.
Yeah, he just stayed back on it very well. Just
2 down, Seiya Suzuki as the Cubs get the homer from Happ. Talk about that balanced swing. Peek at it from the side.
Hitters always talk about having good weight distribution and then just turning on that axis. And that's what he did right there.
Hey, recruiting wise, and it's dangerous with 2 outs, and we're kicking you out after this.
Yeah.
Bellinger. You think about the idea, he was going to have a lot of suitors. He picked the Cubs because, at least in part, he thought you guys would support him to get back to being the player he wants to be.
I felt like we had a really good pitch on that one. I mean, we right away we were very aggressive and we had a really good presentation for him. But I also felt like this is where the city and the ballpark helps, but it's also where having 2 hitting coaches that he knew from the Dodgers really helped. He and Johnny Washington have a really good relationship, and I think that the personal touch there, definitely helped our process. So I felt good about that one from the beginning, but I'm certainly glad he chose us, and he's been fantastic so far this year. I mean, just his swing looks right. He's played great defense. He's run the bases well, and I mean, you look up and this is the player he was pre-injury. I'm thrilled he's a Cub.
Seiya Suzuki down on strikes. The Cubs +10 with Jed Hoyer in the booth so far this year. Ian Happ unloads. Jed, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jed.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You guys had an interesting trek to get here. You were at the Baltimore airport, and then you got the call. What happened after that?
We were literally parking. Matt called, said he got called up. We should go to Chicago. We went to the airport, canceled our flight to Columbus, where we were going to see him, and tried to get to Chicago from Baltimore. There wasn't a good flight, so we booked one out of DCA, Reagan, and hurried down there and got a plane. And it took us literally right past Nat Stadium, where the Cubs were yesterday. So,
what type of emotions have you felt watching your son make his debut today?
just everything. Proud, happy for him. It's surreal, mostly. I mean, I think I'm pretty calm, and it's like another baseball game, but I think he belongs here. And so he's worked really hard, and he looks comfortable. So for me, it's just everything.
What have you seen from him growing up that you think he belongs here?
His confidence, his intensity, his athletic ability. So just everything, that the way he's always carried himself. He makes adjustments when he needs to, and he's overcome a lot of adversity to become a hitter at the pro level.
You mentioned intensity, and that's a word that I've heard a lot of people use to describe him. Where does that come from?
I think it's him. I mean, my wife is super competitive. Matt's super competitive, more than I am, and so he gets a lot of everything from her side of the family, I think. But he is. He's intense in anything he sets himself out to do and that he wants to do.
And you told me that the athleticism actually comes from Ellen.
It does, her side of the family. And his size. So she's part Dutch. So they have a lot of really tall relatives on that side. So he makes me look like a little kid when he's next to me.
Part of your son's story is interesting. A lot of people told him that he should stick with pitching, but he knew deep down he wanted to be a hitter. From your perspective, why did you trust that was the right path for him?
I want him to be happy, honestly. If he's not happy playing, then I don't want him to play, and growing up. And so he knows what he's capable of. I know what he's capable of, and it's just given the opportunity, he can show it. And so that's what happened.
What was it like for you last year watching him do what he did and earn minor league player of the year?
Super proud. It was just a fun season. Sat outside all I could and smoked a cigar and watched games. And we only saw him in a few cities, but it's crazy. And social media just blowing up, and watching your kid, and their hype now with the Chicago fans is just crazy. And so last season it started to steamroll, and it's been great to watch.
I did see you on Twitter, and part of what you were reading was just about what other people were saying about your son and the nickname Mash Mervis. What do you make of all of this hype around your son?
It's surreal. I mean, for a minor league prospect to come up already with the hype and the shirts and the nickname. I just hope it rolls for another 15 years. I can't explain how cool it is.
So I mentioned you, your wife. Who else is joining you here today?
My daughter Samantha is here texting. That's my son Dylan. Dylan's got a couple of friends. Matt's girlfriend is a beautiful girl behind us, and her family is right behind us. They came in from Tennessee. And there's 4 kids back there with Matt Mervis jerseys that went to his high school. And there's probably a few others. We've seen a few others from hometown that are in the stands.
And you guys had to go into the store today to buy the number 22 Mervis jerseys. What was it like in the store seeing your son's name on the back of a Major League jersey?
We saw people walking in with them. We didn't know where they got them. So we went to the store, saw it on the racks. We got pictures of them on the racks. I'm wearing the one from Arizona that he wore with a different number. And they all got the 22, so I'll get my 22. It's great. We saw a kid that looked like he took some duct tape and wrote Mervis on and put it on another number. But to see your kid's name on jerseys in the professional stadium, it's crazy.
Last question for you. At what point in his life and athletic career did you realize that making it to the big leagues was a reality?
So beginning of high school, one of the coaches came up and said, well, we think you can play D1. And we're like, okay, wow. And then he said, hi, D1. And we're like, okay. And then a few weeks later, it's like, it could be drafted. So at that point, it started clicking that he's really good. And then he went to Duke and had a good career. Had scouts, weren't beating the door down partly because of the two-way thing. But in Duke, started to realize he will be a minor league player. Went to East Coast Pro and a few other things that were really high end. And so we were, accepting that he's going to be a pro. At what level will he get to? I don't know. People would ask us once in a while, how long is he going to give it? And I said I would never ask him that question. But then, of course, last year, the reality of MLB, started to dawn. And here we are.
Awesome. We'll enjoy every moment. Thank you. Boog?
Great stuff down there, T-Mac. And, Jeff Mervis, thank you for the time. Kid from the D.C. area to Georgetown Prep before Duke. Happ circles under it, makes the catch. Tagging from third is Birdie, and he'll come in to score. The Marlins are on the board. So a sac fly. Staying put over there at first is Gurriel.
Yeah, I mean, just as a parent, as a father of 5 kids.
Or is a rise, I beg your pardon. That was Gurriel.
To listen to Matt Mervis's dad just talk the joy in his heart and his soul. As parents, to see your kid living out a dream like that has got to be just so special. I get excited when one of the kids comes home with a cool school project or has a good little league game. So to see your son at the big leagues at Wrigley Field with jerseys walking around, it's got to be surreal and extremely special, and I'm super happy for them.
Here's Segura now. On the ground, Wisdom backhands and throws out Segura. The Marlins pick up a run. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 3-1. Cubs on top. Says recommended memory support brand. And by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Download the FanDuel app now to check out their live betting options and start making every moment more. We got ourselves a new pitcher, Boo.
Indeed we do. Stephen Okert. The lefty on for the 8th time, 4.76 the ERA. And he pumps in a 4-seamer for a strike to Bellinger. Cubs lead at 3-1. The big hit. Well, now it turns out that Ian Happ home run pretty big. Belly lays off.
Left-hander for the Marlins, Okert. Big slider guy, like slider fastball, but primarily sliders. A big percentage of them. 68% of his pitches are sliders. Another one to Cody Bellinger right there.
So one down, and the batter will be Trey Mancini. Cubs leading at 3-1. Boog Sciambi, Ryan Dempster, Taylor McGregor. Big league debut for Matt Mervis. So far 0 for 2 today. And the home debut for Miguel Amaya. The foul out of play off to the right. Trey Mancini a single. He's also popped out foul. Cubs with 5 hits. Marlins with 6, but the Cubs lead it. Lefty ready to 1-2. Just a bit outside.
Tried the corner, missed.
Mancini down on strikes, and now Mervis will come up to hit. For Mervis, you know, Jen Hoyer mentioned a tough draw today. You look at Edward Cabrera and his splits this year. Lefties hitting 164 against him, and now he faces a tough lefty.
Yeah, a guy that, you know, to make a comp, maybe not quite the same size, but almost like an Andrew Miller, former left-handed reliever, where you're just going to get a heavy dose of sliders. He's got kind of that big sweeping delivery, throws it from behind you as a hitter. Yeah, it only takes one mistake in the middle of the plate. Matt Mervis could have hit.
Chasing there, and Mervis down on strikes. Okert strikes out the side onto the 7th. Cubs lead at 3-1. 7, Justin Steele back out there. And it delivers a pitch in the zone that Jazz Chisholm swings through. And now time call. You know, Demp, you look at Steele with that cut ride fastball. We mentioned he basically learned the slider during 2020. He got some work before everything was shut down, put it into effect in 21. But he had a 1.49 ERA coming into today. If you take his last 16 starts into today, he's got a 1.49 ERA, and it's obviously going down. But I mean, this is where we talk about small sample a lot. The sample's getting bigger.
Yeah, and you're just, Jed talked about, he's got a little swagger too. He's starting to realize that, you know, sometimes when we're in stretches as a pitcher and we're going good, we wonder, is this who I am? Instead of just believing that that's who I am. And so when you start to just constantly see it, you know, take place, that you have a good outing, another good outing, and you just keep backing it up. And the trust, he trusts in his fastball. He doesn't need any data to realize that when he throws his fastball, for whatever reason, guys don't see it very well. It moves differently. Sometimes it cuts, sometimes it's straight. It's got a little life on it. And good for him for self-evaluating and just believing in himself. Continue to puff that chest out and those peacock feathers up.
Downstairs and Taylor.
Well, I think your point is exactly right, Dempster. When I was talking to Jan Gomes about what's made Justin so good this year, is that he doesn't try to adjust to what the hitters are doing. He just goes out there and he knows that his stuff is good enough to get them out, so he makes them adjust to him. He believes in that country boy fastball, as we like to call it, and then the use of the slider as well. So he sticks to what he does really well and just pounds his own and makes hitters adjust to him.
Yeah, you go back to when he was drafted, they liked him a lot. I mean, the slot for the 5th round at 14 was $360,000. They gave him $1 million. So even though they didn't have the ability in 2014 to analyze the characteristics of the fastball the way they do now with how it cuts and rides and all that stuff, there was still a lot they liked about his athleticism. He was going to be a two-way player at Southern Miss. They liked the competitor, and as well, they just liked the arm.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that too is, we talked about it with Dansby Swanson. The more conversations teams have, they start talking to high school coaches and teams that play against them and other scouts, and all the same info starts coming back that this is a good kid. He works hard. He cares. He's going to get better. He's going to continue to develop. So then you go ahead and you sign somebody for more than that slot might allow. And next thing you know, you're getting what you're seeing right now out of Justin Steele.
Carving again as he goes 7, allowing 1 run. It looks like he is done for the day. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Actor and Chicago native, Gary Cole.
All right, Cub fans, let me hear you nice and loud. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back for it's root for the Cubs. Don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. All right, let's get some runs.
Are available for the upcoming 3-game series with rival St. Louis Cardinals beginning Monday. For tickets, just visit Cubs.com/tickets.
Matt Barnes will take over. Pitching change brought to you by Lakeside Bank. It's about time. And former Red Sox on for the 14th time, a 4.15 ERA.
Former Red Sox, former UConn Husky. Matt Barnes, fastball, curveball. Actually uses curveball a little bit more, about 50% of the time. Sits in the 93, 94 range. Breaking ball, mid-80s.
Patrick Wisdom 0 for 2 today. And Wiz has struck out both times, once swinging, once looking. Cubs enjoying a 3-1 lead. We're in the last of the 7th. And Wisdom down on strikes again.
This season, fans in Illinois can purchase Cubs Charities 50/50 raffle tickets starting at 11 a.m. through the end of each game at Cubs.com/raffle or from a raffle ambassador at Wrigley Field throughout the 8th inning.
Hey, there's an ambassador. 5 straight strikeouts for Cubs hitters as Miguel Amaya still looking for his first major league hit. At Double-A this year, he was raking 273, 4 homers, and OPS over 1,000. He's already hit 2 balls over 100 miles an hour at the big league level, but does not have a hit to show for it.
Mom and Dad eagerly awaiting that first base hit, that first home run. We know it's only a matter of time before those things happen.
Miguel Amaya talked about having Tommy John surgery. Still coming back from that. I don't think the arm is all the way back to where they think it will be. Line drive, caught at third. Man, has he had some bad luck so far. That one 103.9. Holy cow.
Yeah, and I know the results aren't there, but you got to love what you're seeing so far. Good at bats, hitting the ball hard, couple lineouts, flying out to center field. Mom and Dad think they got it. No. All right, fine. We'll come to the game later. Come to the game tomorrow. Whatever it takes, we'll be here.
On the ground, fair ball inside the bag down the right field line. Horner racing for second, and Nico's got himself a double. So with 2 outs, a man into scoring position. And this double is brought to you by Elgin Hyundai, home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new car.
Yeah, and Nico's done something today he doesn't normally do. He struck out twice already in the game. Said not this time. Gets 2-strike approach and just takes that ball. Smacks it down the right field line. Runner in scoring position. Do it, Dansby.
The 1-0 to Swanson. And that evens the count. Dansby stayed back at a slider his last time up and laced it into left for his first hit. How about Justin Steele? 7 innings, just 1 run. Another great effort for the lefties, turning into one of the best starters in the National League. Check swing. He went too far. It's a strike.
Yeah, I mean, he's the model of every. I know you don't like to make comparisons. Each pitcher is their own individual self, but he's a nice guy to have when you maybe have a guy who's not trusting their stuff and throwing it over the plate. He's finding out, and you just sometimes you just need to do that, and then he's mixing it up very well. He's got hitters off balance. He's efficient. You know, he's not a lot of high stress pitches. He's done a tremendous job and continues to go out there each time and just doing the same thing, not trying to do more. You don't need to do more. Just continue to do what you're doing.
Swanson fouls one back. Let's check out our game summary. It's brought to you by Wintrust, and peep this, as the kids might say. Most consecutive starts allowing 2 earned or fewer since 1912 for the Cubs. Justin Steele has now matched Jake Arrieta 14 in a row. Swanson takes called strike 3. It's a pretty amazing list that Justin Steele has joined. End of 7, it's 3-1.
7 innings strong. Clap, clap, clap. You bet. When you're doing this, finishing the breaking ball in the dirt, Justin Steele's clapping too, and he should be. Another wonderful, strong performance by the lefty.
Michael Fulmer takes over. Fulmer performance has been uneven in 13 games, 12 1/3, a 6.57 ERA. Obviously, the work against the Dodgers is where it went wrong for him. On the ground, Swanson, backhanded slide, throw to first in time. Stop it.
Are we watching a replay, Boog?
He's made that play within the last 10 days, I want to say 4 times. That play.
And the calmness at which he does it, there's no panic in this. I've done this, like you said, so many times. Sliding across to his backhand and just comes up, and again, strong throw across the diamond.
And also on that play, you hear about internal clock. He's throwing out on that play one of the fastest guys in the majors in Garrett Hampson.
And I'll say this too, for Michael Fulmer, a guy that has had a little bit of struggle so far this year, when you get a first pitch of the inning and the ball goes in the hole and your shortstop, it gives you some relief. Like, okay, nice, I can go from here. Let me get back on track. And sometimes those little tiny plays, a double play that's turned, a great defensive play can kind of change your season around a little bit.
Fulmer's 2-1 to Birdie. Now Birdie getting a chance to play shortstop for the Marlins. They traded away Miguel Rojas to the Dodgers. A base hit into right field. Second hit of the game for Birdie, and with 1 out, a man aboard.
Whether it's lighting up Chicago or helping a neighbor in need, Powering Chicago's commitment to better construction, better careers, and better communities never quits. Powering Chicago, IBEW Local 134, NECA, Chicago.
There's Jorge Soler now, 0 for 3. Strikeout, pop out, fly out. It says it right there. On the ground, how about double play? Yeah, had that. Wisdom got it started. Nico with a nice turn. We're midway in the 8th. Ian Happ thrilled us earlier today with a home run.
Take a look at StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. 107 miles an hour on the exit velo. That'll get you a nice little 423 feet. A little over the major league average. If you're hitting the ball that far at Wrigley, it's a homer.
So Ian Happ will turn around and hit right-handed. Tanner Scott now. Scott, 13th appearance, a 5.25 ERA, and a bright red glove.
Scott, one of 4 lefties that the Marlins have in the bullpen. Another guy like his predecessor Oker, slider fastball, more sliders than fastball. Does throw it in the mid-90s, but likes to go with the slider over the fastball.
Foul tipped off of Stallings for Ian Happ. One of the things he's always done really well is control the strike zone. This year, Arise, of course, leading the National League in on-base percentage, but Happ at 425. He's been taking his walks. And Ian turning around and saying to Sean Barber, I don't think that was a strike.
I think this is one of those ones where Stallings set up inside for the fastball and kind of had to reach back a little bit. And as a hitter, they feel that. They see that catcher reach and thinks that pitch is outside, but catches the outside corner.
There's a strike to Seiya Suzuki. In the air, right field, and the catch made by Garrett Hampson. And again, a reminder, more minor league baseball coming your way this evening here on Marquee. South Bend at Cedar Rapids. First pitch is at 6 p.m. So the Cubs and the Colonels. Big swing from Belly. Cody 0 for 3. Now time called by the hitter. Bellinger mentioned the chase rate is down, the walk rate is up, the strikeout rate is down. Pretty clear whatever he's doing mechanically, it's keeping his head more still. Dustin Kelly, the hitting coach, talked about that he's not crashing forward the way he had been the last couple of years.
Yeah, letting the ball get to him versus going to get the baseball, and I think that's made a world of difference. It's kept him closed up just a tick longer so that he's staying on the baseball a little bit more.
And I think even there's going to be some forward, but I think even the verb he used, that if you're going to go forward, you don't want to crash forward. You want to be kind of easing, gliding. And he's looked good. In the air. And the right fielder, Hampson, fell down. That's going to fall for a hit. And we watch Belly run. It's a double.
Yeah, when you're going good, things like this happen. You know, a ball that just right fielder slips on. And credit to Bellinger, as soon as he sees him slip, and he was coming out of the box anyways and didn't even hesitate for a second. Slide into second base, easy double.
Time called. Stallings will go out. And while we have a moment, this Tuesday is New Era 5950 Day at Wrigley Field. As part of the celebration, New Era will give away seat upgrades to the all-inclusive W Club, powered by CDW and the Maker's Mark Barrel Room. Get your tickets now at Cubs.com/tickets and get here early. 5950 Day. Gorgeous afternoon. One of the best weather days we've had at Wrigley so far. And the news is good. Cubs 3, Marlins 1. We're going to walk Mancini. And so now it'll be an opportunity for Matt Mervis. And the fans love it. Mervis 0 for 3. Couple of strikeouts as he gets to hit for the 4th time.
Yeah, and a little put some respect on it. You want to walk the guy intentionally from I get it, lefty on lefty.
Sure.
But chance to get up there your 4th time today, come up with a big base hit, a little add-on run.
Pitch inside, ball 1. Mervis done a lot of media today, just trying to get acclimated. Here's a 1-1 inside. I mentioned earlier the matchups haven't been super fun for him. A righty who eats up lefties and then 2 lefties. Drill, base hit, right center field. Here pitcher, Matt Mervis, first major league hit, and it knocks in a run.
Ah, that's so great. I saw Matt before the game. I didn't want to say anything. He said, all I want today is a base hit. I just want to go out there, hit the ball hard, and there you go, your major league debut. That is so awesome. And you mentioned the tough draw. Well, you draw a tough starter, then you face a left-handed reliever, and then you get another left-handed reliever, and what did he do? He made the adjustment. Good for you, Matt Mervis, your first major league hit, one of many.
Awesome. First big league hit. He hit that 111 miles an hour off a lefty. So a bullet into right center. The family loving it. Mom, dad, brother, and sister. As Wisdom fouls it off.
That's the best. Mom, dad, brother, sister, the whole family, everybody's having a good time.
That thing was smoked.
You talk about adjustments, like, so he faced the lefty before that, Nokert, who had a really good slider. Then he gets 4 sliders, and he's able to stay on that very last one. He took his shot on the 101 that he missed. He said, I'm not doing that again. Pitcher misses up in the zone. Scott leaves it over the plate, and he hammers it in the gap.
Wisdom swings through that. Patrick down on strikes. Mash Mervis, welcome to the show. 111 miles an hour, a laser. His first big league hit, knocks in a run, and the Cubs add on. Pro Armstrong in attendance. And it all paid off right here. All those guys get a chance to see what it was like during the regular season to be at Wrigley. All smiles there. I got a good dorky note for you. You ready, Dempy?
Yes, please.
Here's Luis Arise. Just to give you, like, this kid's a special talent. Just to give you an idea, left on left is hard. We've established that. It's you just don't see a ton of lefties. They're usually somewhere around 23% of the pitchers. So it's a hard matchup for a left-hander. Okay. So this year, left on left, a left-handed batter has hit a ball 111 miles an hour off a left-handed pitcher. That was the 6th time.
That's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it's just a little nerdy note, but it just tells you this guy's staying in there against the lefty and waffling that baseball, and he's someone who hits the ball hard consistently.
Yeah, and I mean, Coop could probably dig even a little deeper, but I imagine that not many of those are off of relievers.
Right.
A guy that you just don't see very often to come in the game, and like you said, he talked about the tough draw, and he just didn't let it get him down. He just went out there and put together good at-bats, and to have that kind of confidence spring early in your big league career, right away, you know, tough starting pitcher and a couple of tough relievers, and you come up with a big late RBI add-on run. That's awesome.
Ground ball, base hit right field. This guy just doesn't stop. Holy cow. Luis Arise, his 3rd hit, as he finds space between Horner and Mervis.
When I watch him hit, it's almost like Arise looks around the infield and says, where is somebody not standing? All right, I'll just hit it right there. Almost very Rod Carew-like.
One of our viewers today, I believe, is our buddy Christopher Morel.
Yes.
Who's been just raking.
Scorching.
Yeah. At Iowa. They're in Columbus. And he was asked if he had any advice for Matt Mervis. I'll give it to you in a second. Swanson and on to first in a double play. And here is Christopher Morel and what he said his advice would be to Matt Mervis.
Enjoy the game. I'm super happy to see him in the big league. I got to see him and the TV today too. And enjoy the moment.
I think it's pretty clear that Matt Mervis enjoyed the moment. 1 out away. Leiter deals inside ball 1.
If you didn't already like Christopher Morel, you got to love a kid like that. Here's a guy tearing the cover off the ball in AAA, and it could be him getting called up, and instead his teammate and friend gets called up. And he has that kind of smile on his face and genuine happiness. Christopher Morel, you are a 10 of a human being, man.
How about upcoming schedule? It's brought to you by Hyundai. More with the Fish tomorrow. And we'll come your way at 1:20, and then Sunday as well. And then the Cardinals come to town. First matchups with the Cardinals. 3 6:40 games, and then it's out on the road. Pitching matchup for tomorrow. The Cubs will have Drew Smyly against Ryan Hoeing. How about the quality start? That's brought to you by National Car Rental, and that was delivered by Justin Steele. Control, confidence. National Car Rental, quality start. 7 innings, 6 runs, 1 earned, 4 strikeouts. The no walks is the thing. Every once in a while, he can have some issues putting guys on base, but today won the case.
Yeah, and efficient. 7 innings, 86 pitches. That's getting it done.
So here's Chisholm now. Takes off. Pitch is a strike. Swing and a miss. We talk about the splitter so much, but that curveball's a pretty good pitch for him.
Yeah, it is, and because of that, you know, he's able to. It's kind of his third pitch. It's the fastball split. So when a guy sees something up like that, automatically thinking fastball at the hand, now you can go anywhere.
Nice block by Amaya, keeps it in front.
Here's the split, and that's at about 50 feet.
Yeah.
Amaya's squaring up to that ball. Good job of sliding his body over.
Leiter deals. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Ball game. Cubs win. Matt Mervis, major league debut. He comes up with a knock and an RBI. The Cubs victorious. Justin Steele sensational. Sing the song, Fly the W. Toast of the Game is brought to you by Vinny's Beverage Depot. If you can't find it at Vinny's, it's probably not worth drinking.
Yeah, and of course the toast of the game goes to Mash Mervis. That's right, Matty, have yourself a debut. Coming up there, that last at bat. Mom and Dad in the stands, the whole family. All the Cubs fans in attendance, waiting for this big league debut. Good for you. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking.
A really cool day here at the ballpark for Ryan Dempster, Chandler McGregor, and our entire crew. I'm John Shelby. Thanks for watching Chicago Cubs baseball on Marquee Sports Network. Again, your final, Cubs over the Marlins 4-1. Tomorrow we bring you game 2 of this 3-game set. Coverage begins at noon. Up